Why now?
Will be replaced come tomorrow, the 29th of March. And everybody was going on about how the mayor is going to be replaced. He's not going to see Good Friday as the mayor. But all those people who said that knew very little what they were talking about. Because behind the scenes, there was the one camp of the 61 politicians constituting the Black Caucus, where all 61, and I've got it right in front of me, signatures were tabled for a special council meeting tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock to remove the mayor. Everybody was in favor of that. But the problem is then that when we had this meeting with the mayor and Banga, we had to go in there with a clear conscience, not to betray anybody, not to be like we would call in the former years impimpis, to go and be the messenger of what has been discussed in the Black Caucus, because it would not settle well with anybody. But so we went in there after we have had our caucus as a Patriotic Alliance, after we have analyzed everybody's bits that they contributed to why the mayor must be removed. We went in there with a very clear, sober mind, and we said that in this instance, what is of most importance in this metro is that we have to go in there with a voice of reason. There was no ways we were going to go there being influenced by everybody, making decisions and expect us to toe the line of such decisions made. We're nobody's baby brother here in the metro. We are the kingmakers. And there's no ways that we can be pushed or bullied around. Now the problem here is the arrogance and the egos of Julius Malema, and equally so the same of that of the ANC. Me having been in the Black Caucus with him, I can tell you things you're not aware of. They would walk in there and dictate as to what must be done and how things will be done in this metro. Julius Malema will sit in Braamfontein at the headquarters and dictate what is going to happen on the soil of Nelson Mandela Bay, which is not right, it is not fair. And anybody in their right frame of mind shall not just comply to what the EFF says. We are the Patriotic Alliance. We don't belong to that party. There's no pact between the EFF and, in fact, Julius doesn't even buy a newspaper when there's a picture of my president in it. He doesn't want to see him. So they're not getting on. There's an open letter that was written to him 4 years ago, which resurfaced recently. And there's just no synergy between the EFF and the Patriotic Alliance. So why would they have the audacity to give an instruction from Braamfontein what must happen in Nelson Mandela Bay? It cannot be accepted. The biggest problem is that there's never been any beef, there's never been any animosity between the Patriotic Alliance and the Democratic Alliance ever since the exit of the PA from the Mako last year. We've been in this movie before. We've been with the DA. There's some bantering and stuff happening in chambers in council, which is normal in politics. But outside the arena of that chambers, there's never been any nastiness between the PA and the DA. So we realize that there's some kind of respect coming from both sides, and we discussed that element. And there's absolutely nothing coming from the EFF or the ANC. Now, would you want to be in a relationship where there's no respect? It borders on being abused. It borders on being a tyrant for us just to tell that we're not going to have that. I never slept last night. The parties phoned me at 12 o'clock last night, asked me can they meet. There's new developments. They came to my residence, my private residence, to come and see me, and they walked out there about 2 o'clock this morning. After my president released the statement that we are going to support the DA tomorrow. So they came there offering me the position of mayor. Should I decide to assist in the removal of Mayor Ethel Trollop come tomorrow? Now, if my memory serves me well, and I trust it does, just this week, it was the very same party who went public and said, throw the PA a bone and they'll jump at it. Last night they came with that big bone. We never jumped. They walked out there with their tail between their legs. And I've told them that the main issue here, what the Patriotic Alliance have decided as to why Mayor Ethel Trollop shall not be removed, on the back of the fact that we engineered the first motion of no confidence against the mayor. And they did not support that. So we have to be sober-minded And when you come and you argue reasons as to why a person has to be removed, it has to make sense. There has to be logic in it. The problem with this motion is the ego and the arrogance of Julius Malema. It's his hatred towards white people. The Patriotic Alliance puts the interest and the priorities of the colored community of this metro on top of their list. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. The DA put the interest of the white people on top of their list, and so equally so the ANC puts the interest of the black people on top of their list. So unapologetically, we say our constituency is the northern area, is populated by the colored community, so we put them on top of our priority list. That's not hate speech. It can never be. What Julius is doing, it's not even bordering on hate speech. It's hate speech personified. And for us to put our hand up tomorrow to support Julius Malema for wanting to remove Troller because his skin is white, it cannot be on. He came into the metro as a white man. When he wakes up tomorrow morning, he'll still be white. So what's the problem? Julius Malema cries foul about H&M. He cries foul about white monopoly capital. But he goes with open hands and he takes the money from the white people, the sponsors. He never had a problem with that. He never had a problem when Lord Renwick from London gave them money. He has no problem taking money from white people. But he's doing that because he just wants to be populist. And that's all it is. There's no substance in wanting to remove the mayor not because of the color of his skin. If they came up with something substantial and put it on the table for us to consider as a Patriotic Alliance, other reasons other than the color of his skin, then we could have given it some due consideration. But not under these circumstances. There's absolutely nothing else other than the color of his skin is the reason why he should go. And we cannot have that. Julius is promoting genocide. Nothing else. We cannot allow Julius Malema to come and dictate in this metro. We love this metro. I'm born in this metro. I'm not from outside in here. I know this metro. I'm born in the northern areas. We know what happened in the northern areas. The ANC is so disarrayed. They cannot even take care of themselves. I mean, everybody knows that even in council, the ANC as the official opposition party could never lead in council. It's always been the minority parties leading in council. They can't even lead themselves. So how can we allow them to lead this metro? We cannot do that.
Marlon, you brought a motion to remove the MACO. How are you going to deal with that tomorrow?
It's very simple. Doing that tomorrow, should I proceed with that motion, and that motion carries, which it will carry, but it's going to be counterproductive to the coalition government in this metro. So I cannot go through with that. I'm going to withdraw that motion tomorrow.
Marlon, can I just ask, a few months ago we sat at a press briefing, and you said that
I don't like that grin. There's something coming.
You said that Trump was a liar.
Yeah.
You said that he was a dictator.
Yeah.
You said he lied about Babani being corrupt.
Sure.
You said that he changed his tune to suit himself.
Yeah.
And now what has changed? Is this purely about a position, or has Trump for you changed his stripes?
Sorry, Marlon, just to second that, also, in terms
You guys out to bully me?
No.
Okay.
In terms of the reasons why you guys had brought forward a motion of no confidence, I think sometime in November last year as well.
Yeah.
The sole reasons why the Patriotic Alliance had decided to also, kind of move away from the Democratic Alliance. Has there been any changes, or does that one meeting then iron out these problems that were going on between the two parties at the time, now that there's a motion of no confidence against the EFF?
Sure, it's a very interesting question, and I think it's valid to ask that thing. And thank you for the opportunity that you're granting me to clear the air on that note. A leopard doesn't change its spots. I believe that once you turn 24, 25 years of age, your character is shaped. So in any relationship, one has to look at the pros and the cons, for none of us are perfect. And I'm sure fingers can be pointed at me as well, for my flaws that I have in my character. So I've thought about it. When I said that the mayor was lying, I still maintain he lied on those specific items that I referred to. It bothers me when it happens, but who of us here has never told a lie? So weighing the pros and the cons, the pros outweighs the cons by far, where the pros are that best going with the DA. It's a matter of running from a roaring lion into a crouching tiger. But you need to get your head around it and think which is the better of the two evils that you want to be with. But I can tell you, when we met with the mayor the other night, I could genuinely see the sincerity in him when he spoke about this metro. And there were much common ground that we could find about why it is not in the interest of the residents of that metro to support the EFF motion to have him removed. We believe we can work together. I trust that we will work. We have worked together, and it wasn't bad at all at the time when we worked together. We spent good early mornings together working, long days together working, and I could see it was all about service delivery. The issue here is in this very office where we are today. ANC members walked in here and said, let's support this thing. We can't die poor. So all of those things, we cannot go for such things. We're sitting with the only party here whose president went to jail. And unashamedly he talks about it. He turned his life around. There's nobody in his tax bracket in this country who does the amount of things for the people, unknown to him, unknown to our party, that he does. The other day he visited prisons here. At St. Albans he went to visit. He goes around the country motivating prisoners that it's possible to turn your life around when you come out there. He goes around to schools to talk to people. We bury how many people here? We spend hundreds of thousands on funerals. People's houses burn down. We jump in, we do things. So my point here is that we're sitting with the best president because of his background, which is it should be encouraging to anybody, knowing that here's living proof that your past doesn't determine your future. So, I'm going to be in trouble for this one. But in the few engagements we've had with the mayor and our president, the mayor was so intrigued with this black man who's been to jail and turned his life around, that there's not a meeting where he doesn't ask him about his past. Uncomfortable questions, but I tell you, comfortably answered by Caton McKenzie. So I'm very pleased to say that after lengthy consideration and deliberations, we thought it best fitting for this metro, because we know that the deal they are about service delivery. They do sit the pot miss, yes, many a times, and that's when we lock heads. But those are the things we need to iron out in chambers. So I hope I've answered your question. Is there anything outstanding? No.
Mr. Daniels, Paul Owen from News 24. I'd just like to know, when some of the opposition parties visited you last night and offered you the position of mayor, was there any other conditions they wanted you to support? Was there anything else a part of the agreement that you'd like to share with us?
Marlon, can I just add to that and ask who were the opposition parties that visited you?
Specifically, can do it.
Sure. It was this morning just after 12 when I had Councillor Buyeye from the AIC, Councillor Mtsila from the United Front, accompanied by Councillor Vena from the EFF. And when I asked them why this urgent meeting, they said to me there's new developments and we need to inform you. What is the new developments, guys? New developments are that Julius Malema has just said that it doesn't matter who the mayor is going to be. He's not going to scrutinize the credibility of any mayor. The parties must sort it out amongst themselves who they want as to be the mayor. Added to that, they then said that the other development is that the ANC took a decision that they don't want to lead this metro no more, and that the minority parties can now lead this metro. Now, in our Black Caucus, we did push for minority party government, and in that caucus it was agreed, the support was there, that the PA can take the mayoral position. So with the stubbornness and the egos and the conversation solely between the EFF and the ANC, excluding the other minority parties, as if we're not around when they decided who must be the mayor, there's now a change of tune. They came back to inform me about the developments, and that then made it possible for me then to be the mayor come tomorrow in the event of Ethel Troller being removed. We cannot have that We were insulted, like I've said earlier on, about throw a bone at them. It didn't work. We're not about positions. It shall at all times be people before positions. That's the only way we're going to take it forward. Yes, Ross?
The proposer of the motion to have the decision rescinded to have the deputy mayor position taken away or removed is the Honourable Yene, I think.
Yes, I'm just confirming.
We had a press conference before earlier about what was offered to the Patriotic Alliance, the deputy mayor position, as well as roads and transport. So if Boye should withdraw that motion, what happens then?
It is actually Councillor Mtsila.
Okay, United Front.
Yes, the seconder there was Councillor Gitani from the ANC, who's done that. That with all these motions, I don't blame you for being confused as to who sponsored these things. You know, look, it's not a train smash. It cannot be a train smash. The work will continue. There is an undertaking, there is a written agreement in place that the PA shall be the deputy mayor as well as the MMC for transport, roads and transport. So if it doesn't happen tomorrow, it's no big deal. There's always another council meeting coming up and we can try and get it in there. If it doesn't happen then, there's another council meeting coming up. So there's no rush. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. I was going to offer you coffee, but I stole the kettle.
Patriotic Alliance's Marlon Daniels briefing the media ahead of tomorrow's vote of no confidence against Mayor Athol Trollip in the Nelson Mandela Bay Metro. He was just affirming the PA's support of the DA, saying that